So I'm going to talk a tiny bit about the law of attraction, because on the back of my kitchen door I've had Machu Picchu and in Peru, as well as some of the Mayan temples. And I always imagined that I might come to Mexico and see them around the end of 2012, and here I am. And my cousin won the holiday last year in a Christmas raffle, and he invited me. That's the power of the law of attraction. What you are thinking about is what you are getting, and what your beliefs are, what your core beliefs are what you are getting. So this is why I got into EFT and NLP and hypnosis and the Enneagram and, oh my goodness, so many other coaching tools, all different things to change how you unconsciously feel about the world. And if you're unconsciously feeling and consciously feeling about the world in a different way, thus less fearful, more loving, more open, seeing the world as just an infinite arena of possibilities that you are here to enjoy and experience. It's not all about like an ego, gluttonous greed, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and the other. I think if you bring into that a feeling of purpose, a feeling of I'm meant to do this. It feels like I'm guided here. This is why they say follow your bliss, because the heart has a huge amount of intelligence, and if we really listen to our hearts, our lives really would transform it in a great way. And the reason we don't do that is because, oh, I would love to do that, oh, I would love to experience that, or I'd love to want that, or I'd love to whatever. And it bubbles up and from the heart and goes into the mind, and the mind goes, no, I can't do that. No, I can't do that. Oh, I'm not good looking enough, I'm not rich enough, I'm not free enough, I can't. There's always an excuse, there's always something. And my God, I had a ton of excuses. I realised how far I've come in 8 years, because I was in hospital 8.5 years ago, seriously ill and with serious chronic depression. And what's happened in those last 8 years is not instantaneous change, but an inner knowing of that we're not here to be sick, we're not here to be poor, we're not here to be sad and depressed. When I say poor, that's got nothing to do with finances. We're all rich, we all have the same amount of time, we all have 24 hours in a day, we all have 7 days in a week. We all have a heart that beats. It doesn't matter what you are doing, where you are, who you are, where you came from. It really doesn't matter. And when I'm coaching people, it's just about taking the next step, as though you were caught up in the river of life on a riverbank in some weeds. Okay, so it's not about fixing you, it's about being able to release you from the weeds and back into the flow of the river, so that you can drift again in life in the way of the flow of life, so that you are going downstream. The law of attraction, Esther and Jerry Hicks, Abraham, it's about being in the flow, being in the vibration, being in the vortex. And I think that when we allow ourselves and loosen up our fears and get more into our hearts, magic, manifestations, miracles happen. And this, to me, is a miracle. This is amazing. The fact that, we're going to Cuba on Friday. It's such a privilege. And it's not just about being in Mexico that's a privilege. It's a privilege to do the work that I do. It's a privilege to be alive. It's a privilege to be alive at this time. If you really get into this attitude of gratitude and really get into your heart, my goodness, that's where the peace is, that's where real joy is, and that's where the feeling of abundance is. Abundance is just a state of being. Abundance is the ability to do what you need to do when you need to do it. It has nothing to do with money. Money may come as a result of that, and that's a wonderful manifestation. Ah, thank you, whatever. But you're not fearful about losing it, you're not fearful about particularly spending it. It's just that you're in the supermarket of life. And what would you like to take off the shelf? Now, if you do it from a place of, I'm taking my bit, and I'm just taking all that I need. I'm not taking it out of greed or gluttony, or not taking it out of fear. I'm taking it out of love, because I'd love to experience it. There's enough for everybody else. I'm taking my share. This feels like my share. This feels fine. And I think when we get into those places that we really think that we can do what we would love to do, life is meant to be lived. Life is meant to be lived. And I'm doing that myself with all the techniques and tools that I've learned, and I use them on myself, and I use those with my clients. And it's a distinct privilege. I'm so touched to have found what my purpose is. And I work with people with not very much money, and I work with people who are millionaires. I work with people who earn hundreds of thousands. I work with people who earn 20,000. It's just about facilitating a shift. And I'll leave you with a main greeting, which is In Lakesh Alakim, which means I am another you. Put your stick down. Stay. And I'll bid you farewell from there. So from just south of Cancun, El Dorado Royale Resort, on the beach in Mexico, by the Caribbean Sea, in Lakesh Alakim.